Billions of people watch this game. Stadiums, chants, the industry, million-dollar transfers. Is it all just for a leather ball? No. The roots of football go much deeper and darker than you think. Remember that eerie legend we mentioned in our shorts video? Historians whisper that the first football games were not a sport, but a victory ritual. From Vikings to Old English legends, there are stories of the winning side playing with the own remains of the defeated enemy. It was a final show of force against the foe. But the real history is even more interesting than the legends, because football wasn't invented for entertainment, but for combat training. The official birthplace of football is the Chinese Empire in the 3rd century BC. The goal wasn't fun. The emperor developed a training method called Kuju, Tsu Chu, to make his soldiers agile, strong, and obedient. Meaning kick the ball. This game wasn't like today's. The ball was made of leather patches stuffed with feathers or hair. It was quite heavy and hard. Soldiers had to kick this heavy ball into a small hole in the middle of a silk cloth without letting it touch the ground, using only their feet. This was not a sport, it was a military exam. A soldier who made a mistake didn't lose the match. He fell from his commander's grace. Football was born here as a survival skill. When the game reached the West to the Roman Empire, grace gave way to brute force. The Romans were focused on strategy and power. The game was named Harpastum. Forget today's football. This game was more like the ruleless ancestor of rugby. The goal was to get a small, hard ball across the opponent's line at any cost. Julius Caesar's legionaries played this game as preparation for war. Physical endurance and the ability to move as a unit. There was no referee here, no foul whistle. Only the strongest and smartest remained standing. Football was no longer an art, it was a show of force. After the Romans left, the game in England took the name mob football. And things got out of hand. The rules were simple, there were no rules. 2 neighbouring villages would try to get the ball, sometimes an inflated pig's bladder, to the rival village's church door. But the problem was, the number of players was unlimited. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of people would take to the streets at once. These matches caused such huge chaos that shops were destroyed. People were trampled, and city life was paralysed. This wasn't a sport, it was a mass street brawl. Here is where that shocking fact we mentioned in our shorts video comes into play. Football became so popular that it started to threaten national security. In the 1300s, English kings faced a major problem. Young men were playing football so much that they were neglecting their mandatory archery practice. England's defence was weakening. King Edward II and many monarchs after him declared football evil, noisy and useless, and banned it. Those caught playing football were imprisoned, one even threatened with excommunication by the church. Football lived as an underground game for centuries. After centuries of bans and chaos, the turning point happened in London in 1863. A group of gentlemen gathered at the Freemasons' Tavern. Their goal was simple, to turn this savage game into a civilized sport with rules. A historic split occurred that day. One group said, "Let's keep picking up the ball and kicking the opponent." They left the table and founded rugby. The other group said, "No, let's remove the violence, let's play only with feet." They were the ones who founded the Football Association, FA, and started modern football. The other group said, "No, let's remove the violence, let's play only with feet." They were the ones who founded the Football Association, FA, and started modern football. To stadiums watched by billions, football's journey is like a goal scored from savagery to civilization. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to discover other unknown sides of history.